Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to make, and I decided on a flower because everybody seems to like flowers the most. But I think this flower can also, how do I say it? It can disguise itself as a butterfly cane if you want. So the way I'm going to do it could be used either or. So I'm going to use Sculpey Souffle tonight. I have a whole lot of souffle. I don't use it very often. I don't know why, but I wanted to see how the canes actually hold up. So I'm going with colors that I normally wouldn't use. They're kind of bland, but we've got a pumpkin orange, which I don't know what I'm going to use that on yet. I might just use it on my little dots. And I have a sea glass blue or green, whatever you want to call it. And of course we have Igloo. So on the Igloo, basically what I did was I formed it into a nice little teardrop shape. And let's see, we're going to start from the bottom, which is actually the top. Okay. See, and it's a little squishy. I thought that souffle always wasn't quite as squishy, but I might be wrong there. Okay, we're going to do a number 4. We'll do a number 5. Oops, and yeah, my knee keeps banging into everything. So we're just gonna it's like 98 degrees outside and it's about almost 7 p.m. So still a little too warm. And I've noticed that clay is getting stickier this past couple of weeks. I love souffle. I just wish they had a few more different colors, like their oranges. I mean, it's all pumpkin or I think there's one other one. It's just not bright. And I like bright colors. Since we're heading into the fall, I thought I'd tone it down a little bit. So these might just work perfectly for what we need. Alright, so that looks like it's a good size. Okay, and then of course we're going to take the blue and line it up to that. So I got my dogs sitting here right next to me tonight. I think they're waiting to go for a walk, but I just walked outside and yeah, the ground is pretty warm. So they're not happy that I said no for now. They got such good exercise this weekend. We had our grandkids over for the whole weekend. So that was really fun. And they got spoiled and everything else. Okay, so that's a little bigger. I like that better. Okay, so now we're just going to do this. And if you're using Igloo or regular white, it's probably wise to wear gloves. I don't have any at the moment. So what I'll do at the end is I'll just wipe it down with a little bit of alcohol. Because you're not touching the inside anyways, you're just touching the outside. So you're not really going to see the the dirtiness. Even if your hands are clean, it still seems to transfer whatever is still on your hands. So I really like to go to 1.5, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we're just going to cut it about right there at about 2 inches. Okay. And I'm going to take that little paintbrush again. And where did we go last time? We went to the very top, so now we're just going to do the middle. So we'll put this about right here. Okay, and then again, this is just a little bit wider now. So let me throw that back through the machine. Trying to do minimal pasta machine today. I was going to try and do it complete without having to use it, but I wanted to wrap around the flower at the ends, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get out of that. Make sure you're putting it on the right side, which is why I checked it 30 million times. Sometimes you lose your orientation. Okay, and I have that in the middle. Okay. And we're going to reduce this one more time and then put one more petal in there. And then we'll figure out if we want the orange dots on the top. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. So it's just going to be an easy cane. Line it up a little bit and oop. So I got 2 packages today. I don't know if any of you do regular beading. So I have a few, I guess they're called subscription boxes, to a couple different companies, and actually they both came in on the same day. And so I'm like, yay, that's really pretty what they have out today. And I haven't made anything in a long time, and as you know, I need to start working on jewelry for my show that's coming up. So I'm kind of making things in colors that I know that I have glass beads, so that I can kind of combine them both. Okay, so that is it. So now what we're going to do, let's get this to a nice, perfect, workable size. And I kind of want to round the top out. So I'm going to start pressing on the 2 edges right here. Boy, I'm really shaking on this, aren't I? I'm really sorry. Hopefully I'll get a better camera setup, but as of right now, this is all I got. I don't want to go all fancy and get microphones and stuff like that. It's not something I want to do. But I would like to at least have the table not shake every time I make a cane. Okay, so we're going to cut one of these sides up. I'm not going to cut them both. Okay, so this isn't quite ready yet, obviously, but it gives us an idea of where I want to go. Fine, I will cut this side just so I can lay it straight. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some orange. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I mean, I could make a bullseye cane with this, wrap just a little bit of white around it. Or I can make a big orange dot, add some white, add some of this turquoise around it. I don't know if that would be too much of the blue. So let me go ahead and make a log and wrap a few of these. And all I'm doing is making a bullseye cane, which you guys should know. It's just your main color in the center, and then you're just going to wrap it with color. So I'm just going to wrap this in a white. I'd like the orange to kind of stand out. So I think I'm just going to wrap this in a white, and then I'm going to put another layer of the orange on top, cut at a number, or throw into the pasta machine at a number 3. And then I'm going to put one more white around that. That way it kind of blends into it if I have the white on the outside. Okay, so this is all ready to go. So I'm going to hit pause really quick. I'm going to go run some more white through the pasta machine, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we've got a little log here. It's not the most perfect log. I don't know why he's kind of weirded out today. Can't get him in a nice little round log. And we're just going to add some white. And I forgot to run some pumpkin through. I ran and fed the dogs real quick and forgot that I needed to do the pumpkin as well. Okay, so we're just going to do that. I think we could use a little more orange. I think we're going to do an orange at a number 3, however. All right, let me shoot that through the pasta machine really quick. And then figure out if we want to put any blue on after that. I might not even put another white. That might make it a little too much white. I don't think it matters, but got a little bit of blue on the orange here. So I figured I've had a lot of requests for more cane. Still got a bunch on my website, but I will probably just start using what I use, and then the rest just throw up for sale on the actual website, just because I don't have that extra category on Etsy, unless I can kind of combine some cutters into different categories and try and give me a little more categories. I wish they wouldn't limit it to 20. I wish they just leave it alone and let us put as many categories as we need. It doesn't really matter to them, so. But my cutters, there are just so many of them that I don't want to all throw it into one category. But I have a couple that are like, oh, I don't know, everything else or basic shapes. So it's like, yeah, it'd be really nice if I can kind of change that a little bit. Alright, so I'm just going to take this and roll it. I don't know how big I want the dots. So I'm going to stop right here. And let me get the end a little nicer, so I don't have a whole lot of waste. Excuse me. And if I want to go a little smaller, I can. I'd like to take this center one and put it a little deeper, but I don't want to bury it, if that makes sense, and then ruin the design that's already in there. But I kind of like them big like that. You know me, by the time I get this done, these are all going to be in a straight line, because that's always what happens whenever I do this. So I'm going to add a strip of white right here. And a strip on the other side as well. Don't know if it's going to do anything at the end, but... And always use the right side of your blade. Okay, so we're going to add this too. And since this is going to be a flower and a butterfly cane or whatever else you want to use it for, we're going to get some more blue and put that aside as well. Okay. So let's do that. And now we're just going to make a log. He got all squirrely, didn't he? Just going to use all this up. So I'm just going to throw this one right on top. Okay. So now we kind of got that round top that I wanted. And these are not going to remain little circles. They're going to end up being more like squares. I'm pretty much sure of that. And now we're just going to wrap this whole thing in this pretty sea glass. And what I could do, I'm going to do a sea glass, a pumpkin, and a sea glass. So we're going to make a little sandwich here. And we're going to do all three at a number 3. Alright, I don't know if I made it wide enough. I may have. Maybe not. Okay, let's grab this piece too. I don't think that's wide enough either. Maybe it will be. We can pull it a little bit, and we can always add to it. Oop. Okay, so let me go ahead and pause and get all of this conditioned. We're going to need it all. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm looking at this, and I'm glad I'm using souffle, because with souffle you can pull it normally right off if you don't like it. So we're just playing right here. I just want to see. And then if I were to come across with another blue, that might be too much. What do you think? Yeah, I don't know why, but that just seems like too much. So we're going to nix that. And that's the great thing about souffle. You just grab it and pull. So instead, we are going to leave it like this. Okay, and we're going to add some gold leaf to this. Okay, I just want to make sure though that we've got our little registration mark right here on the bottom. I don't think I need a whole lot, but just to keep that even though we're not in a circle. Normally if your log is in a circle and you just roll it, you definitely need that registration mark on it, but this isn't quite that bad, so I don't think we're going to have any problems. Okay, you're just going to stay there. I'm not going to worry about it. And yeah, I've never really used gold leaf on souffle, and it doesn't stick as well as it does on Primo. Almost rolled that right on the floor. Okay, I think that should be good. Alrighty, so now we're just going to take this and reduce this. And I'm going to try and reduce this to about 9 inches because I might want to keep a couple. I might want to make a flower, which I would need 6 inches for that, and maybe an inch for a butterfly and a couple inches for whatever else I want to make. So we're going to go ahead and reduce this and put this on pause, and we'll be back as soon as we get to our size that we're looking for. See you in a bit. Alrighty, so we are back, and we somehow managed to get it to 10 inches here. So we're going to cut a little bit off the ends. Got a little bit more on that end to get rid of. Okay, a lot more. Maybe we'll start with this side. And it's still not coming out the way I wanted it, but it is what it is, and we'll figure it out. So we're going to make 6 of these. Actually, we're not. That's going to be our extra, whether it's for the wings or whatever, and we're going to use this one for the flower. Because I'm only going to do it an inch. Just glides right through. So using Sculpey really is nice for canes, I have to admit. Well, I can't say I really like those dots. I think they're a little too big for the design. But hopefully, by the time we're done, it'll look nice, I hope. But again, if you want to make them for butterfly wings, you pretty much have them already. Well, son of a gun. Alright, so we're just going to take some blue for the center. I'm not even going to worry about making it all fancy. Just going to make a solid blue center. Okay, and then we're just going to kind of, just want a bigger top than what I'm getting. This still might be too big. So we're just going to kind of flatten it, and then we'll come back and we will round it a little bit. And then we'll have to come back and put the translucent around it. Okay, that's going to be a little big, I can tell you now. The smaller your center will determine how big your petals should be, because you want them to hug them. This one's just a little bigger than all the other ones. May have to pull out a little bit more of that center, or and take one more of these and make a 7 petal. Just looks like that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so there's our flower. I can't say I really like those orange thingamajiggers. I should have just left it alone. Or actually I should have brought, if I would have brought that orange to the other side instead of bringing it into it, had this kind of come over. But unfortunately, when you start to reduce this, you end up flattening the top and it's all like in a line anyways. So I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. It's still a pretty flower. I got no regrets on that, but I don't really like those orange dots the way they are. So, what I could do is I can cut this in half and squish this and make it into some kind of a funky leaf. That would work. And it might kind of disperse a little bit of that orange, and then it'll make it look like it's supposed to be like that. But we'll see how the flower turns out. Alright, so I got this soft, not really soft. I wish they made it translucent in the souffle. That would be really nice. There's just something about the way it feels that I like. Hopefully that clay will stay in my nails and not transfer to the translucent here. So I needed about 6 inches of this. And then we're going to cover the outside with it as well. Okay, so we're just going to check. Stick it right there in the center. If you want, try and keep it all the same length. So like this can be cut just a little bit on the bottom. Okay, I'll cut this and just do it one by one here. Excuse me. Pretty much over with the flu and stuff, but got that little wonderful cough that doesn't want to seem to go away. That looks good. I'm just going to thin it up just a little more. Ooh. Well, that wasn't good. It just tore the flower completely apart right there. So I just want to make sure that that's one thing I didn't do, is I didn't check to make sure both sides were okay. And look at that, they weren't. So always, always, always make sure you guys look at both sides, or you'll end up doing what I just did. Again, it's souffle. I love it. So we're going to pull these right off. No. It was all souffle except for that area. Alright, so we're going to pause that real quick. Let me fix this and I'll be back. Okay, so we are back. And we kind of placed them in there. But if you look at my ends of the flower, honestly, guys, pray for this, because I don't know if the inside's going to look as funky as the outside. So I've never seen souffle move so much and deform so much. So there's nothing I can do about it. I know the ends always look funky, so I'm going to think that's all it is. And number two, I never work in 1-inch pieces. I always work in 1.5. To me, 1.5 to 2 inches is perfect, because you don't get so much distortion, and it's easier to lay everything in there. As soon as you cut this into like 1/2 inch or 1 inch, it gets all wonky. I don't know how like Clay Zoo does it, because he works with some small bits of clay, but his clay pieces come out perfect. So I don't know how he does his, but I have a hard time, maybe because I'm heavy-handed. He's a little more gentler with his stuff. I don't know. But if you can get to 1.5 for your smallest, that's usually a really good size to start out with. So now all I'm going to do is reduce this, and I will be back as soon as it's done. Hi guys, we are done. I love that pause feature on my camera, on any camera, because you don't know how long I've been gone. Actually, I took the dogs for a walk. It cooled up enough to where I could do that, and then I can come back and play for the rest of the night, and I don't have to worry about them. So we went ahead and reduced this. So now we're just going to cut into it. And there is our flower that we made. So it was nice that when you go a lot smaller, that you don't really see the oranges as a bad shape like they were. They kind of look like they're just, I don't know, a little bit of garland, a little bit of extra on it. So I like how that turned out. And when I saw the ends, I was really scared, because I thought that I thought that I ruined it, but I didn't. And so there is our flower for the night. Okay, so we're gonna go into this one real quick. Now, as you can see with it looking really big like that, I love that, but I just don't like that orange, and I think that looks icky, for a better use of the word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, wow. And we're going to do some squishing. And I think if we do a little bit of squishing, then that's going to kind of change that into something. I'm not quite sure what it's going to change it into, but the way it looks, I don't like it. So I wouldn't use it. So either way, if it comes out horrible, it's still going to be the same waste that I would have had if I didn't do anything with it. Okay, so we're just going to cut this a couple times. Okay, so I can leave it like this now. I'd like to keep going, but I'm afraid that I will lose the leafy part on the bottom if I reduce this too much. So we're just going to see what this looks like. It's not going to be a flower or anything like that. It's just going to be a leaf anyways. So I could either leave it alone like this, and when I use them for my projects, they're a lot smaller than this anyways, so yeah, I'm going to lose the bottom if I go anymore. So I can use this for some kind of a strip of something. All I need is more in my stash, right? So I'm just going to put both of those together like that. And we might be able to make a pod bead or something out of them. So we're just going to leave that alone, and we'll use that for something. So that's what you can do with all your mess ups. And with this, well, so we got a couple of minutes. Let's see if we can make a Natasha bead out of this. Drop the piece right there. Go ahead and grab that, or I will end up stepping on it later. So this has got a lot of white. I'm going to add just a little bit more blue here and there. Got some orange and a little bit more of that orange and gold leaf. So now I'm going to go grab all my stuff, do a little bit of beading, hang out with the family for a little bit. I love these colors. Okay, so now we're just going to squish that all in. And we're going to twist it one more time. I mean, that would be nice to even just to flatten this. Be a really nice background for a bead as well. Okay, I hope this is good enough. Not really great on Natasha beads. I either go not enough or I go too much. And then when I do make a nice one, I never know what shape to put it in. Alright, so now we're just gonna see what happens when we cut it in half. Ooh, see? Some of those lines on some of those pieces were just really small. But we thought we'd try and see what happens. I mean, it's not that bad. Yeah, I probably will keep it and do something with this. 'Cause you can always make donuts and stuff with it. Or like I said, you can just twist it and make like a marble look to it. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing. I like this half a lot. So I'm going to run that through the pasta machine at a 0. Probably won't do anything with it tonight, but I think I can get some really pretty earrings out of some of this. So that's what I'm probably going to do. So we'll just cut a couple daggers out. And these colors will look really good. And the rest of it, well, we'll figure out what to do with that later. So I hope you liked it. So you guys have a wonderful week. And I guess we'll talk to you either in the middle of the week or on Sunday. So we'll talk to you then. Bye.